The new moon on 20 September 2017 falls at 27 degrees Virgo Decan 3. The main themes this month are self-sacrifice, water healing, a clean sweep, victim martyr syndrome and keeping people hooked. The fixed star Labrum in the Holy Grail is activated and the two main aspects of the new moon are a sextile to Ceres and quincunx to Uranus. There is also a very interesting aspect pattern called the provocative figure which pulls judgmental Jupiter into the equation. New moon September 2017 astrology. This is quite a difficult placement for the new moon. Some commentators say that is because the moon is very fragile in Virgo Decan 3 and prone to illness. My theory is that any malady will be due to autoimmune problems which are always due to not setting clear boundaries. The Virgo moon is the archetypal nurse and makes an amazing healer, but only if they look after themselves first. The problem is that many of us don't. This means we could burn out in our caring role very quickly if we neglect ourselves. The dark side of this position is the amount of resentment that comes out of Virgo moon 3 when their charity and dutiful nurturing is not reciprocated. However, their patient may not have asked for the medicine at all, and in frustration, is apt to throw it all back in Virgo 3 moon's face. New moon September 2017 fixed star and aspect new moon on Labrum in crater. Labrum gives deity, psychic power, intelligence, honor, and riches in disgrace, and purifies to salvation. Achis is connected to fine wines, vineyards and lush, well-watered gardens. This sacred cup is also associated with prophetic ability as various vessels cross-culturally have versions of it. The Holy Grail or the Cauldron of Bran. Therefore Achis can be a gift, something precious carried by an individual to pass down the generations of the family through the genes, like artistic, musical or psychic ability. Achis' talent is usually of a Neptunian nature. Moon quincunx Uranus breeds a range of crazed lunatics, unconventional rebels and quiet outsiders. There is a pathological need to shock and outrage. However, moon quincunx Uranus is shy and uncomfortable with any notoriety their outrageous behavior brings. This aspect can be branded as an attention seeker when all it is doing is being itself. This is a shock at a very vulnerable time, which can leave us feeling unhinged. This aspect adds an exciting, electric, and chaotic energy to the new moon. Both the moon and Uranus are fluctuating and changeable, so emotions often change in a flash. Uranus stands for the truth and revelation, so it can happen that some people will risk exile by speaking truth that the populace find hard to accept. Moon quincunx Uranus never feels truly at home in the present moment because it is so far ahead of time in its thinking. Moon sextile Ceres brings great luck and the ability to bounce back from tragedy. Fortunes fluctuate from one extreme to another, but there is an ability to see the funny side. At this new moon then, sense of humor will get us out of the stickiest of situations, but there is a dark edge to the comedy too. Moon sextile Ceres can be quite indulgent and loves luxury, however there is generosity too, and charity is important. Moon sextile Ceres brings a fascinated with history and can be very nostalgic. Family and ancestry is important at this time. Archives are kept, and we strive to preserve the past for posterity. Passing on talents to the younger generation is strong with this aspect, as is having some inheritance to hand down to their children. As with all Ceres aspects, the need to nurture is marked and done in the most basic, material way, providing food, warmth and shelter to those we love. The Virgo new moon here is trying desperately to fix Jupiter opposite Uranus, square Ceres. This aspect feels more at home with foreign beliefs than with that of their native culture. Travel, of course, is extremely important to them, and they are the eternal gypsies Ceres and the T-square once these wanderers come back home. The Hubers say this aspect pattern likes to interrupt with a question or to make a conjecture. Due to his inner insecurity, quincunx, this can easily become too intrusive, even manipulative, always according to the motto attack is the best form of defense. The nervousness of Virgo is boosted by the red-green combination which is really nervous. A person who often scorns pleasure and whose inner restlessness always finds something that is not right. This is the busybody, nitpicking approach of a nanny state, one that also goes out into the wider world as a super matron trying to fix failed democracies. We have seen how too much meddling creates weakened, dependent individuals. Hence the saying, good times create weak men, bad times create strong men. At this time, the savior-victim polarity is brought into focus. How much are governments, and I'm thinking of those with big welfare systems, getting their citizens hooked onto their support? Sometimes this is done through using actual drugs. So much for the war on drugs. It seems that Western governments are deliberately flooding their countries with narcotics. Sears heroin from the poppy fields of Afghanistan or cocaine from South America. Open borders are very useful in this instance. Given just enough money for their drug fix and pacifier TV set, a dependent class polices itself. There are two extremes here then, the self-sacrificial martyr and the drug pusher. The moon here in trying to fix an addict can easily fall down the rabbit hole of addiction itself though. Nervous Virgo energy will need channeling into a project rather than a person or even simple housework. A good month for throwing down your crutches and grabbing a broomstick.